Nestled between rolling hills and vibrant fields of wildflowers lies a small, quiet town in Mexico called San Miguel. This charming community, with its cobblestone streets and colorful adobe houses, exudes a sense of peace that seems almost timeless. The sun casts a warm glow over the town, illuminating the bustling plaza where children play, vendors sell their wares, and families gather to enjoy each other's company. Laughter and the scent of homemade tortillas fill the air, creating an atmosphere of comfort and familiarity. In San Miguel, everyone knows each other by name. Neighbors greet one another with warm smiles and friendly waves as they pass by, often stopping for a quick chat or to share news from the day. The bonds forged here are strong. Families have lived in this town for generations, sharing not only blood ties, but also stories woven into the fabric of community life. It is a place where traditions are cherished and celebrated, where festivals bring everyone together to dance beneath the stars, and where the spirit of camaraderie thrives. Among these close-knit residents is a spirited little girl named Sophia. With her bright eyes and infectious laughter, she embodies the joy and innocence that permeate San Miguel. Sophia spends her days exploring the town with her beloved dog. Max is more than just a pet. He is Sophia's loyal companion, her confidant in secrets shared beneath old trees, and her protector during their many adventures. Together, they roam the winding streets and open fields, embracing the beauty of nature and the simple pleasures of childhood. Max, a striking German shepherd with a sleek coat and intelligent eyes, has a history that sets him apart from other dogs in town. He is not just any ordinary pet. He is a retired war dog who served with distinction in various missions before coming to live with Sophia's family. His training in combat and protection has molded him into a vigilant guardian, always on alert for any signs of danger. Though he now enjoys a peaceful life filled with love and playtime with Sophia, those instincts remain deeply ingrained within him. As children often do, Sophia sees Max as more than just his past experiences. He is her friend, a source of comfort during stormy nights, and an accomplice in daydreams under the sun-dappled skies. Together, they share moments filled with laughter as they chase butterflies or lay on the grass watching clouds roll by. The connection between them is palpable. It transcends words, rooted in an unwavering bond built on trust and mutual affection. The idyllic setting of San Miguel offers not only serenity, but also a sense of safety that allows residents to live without fear, at least for now. However, beneath this peaceful exterior lurks an unsettling reality that begins to encroach upon their lives. News reports occasionally flicker across television screens about cartel violence in nearby towns. Whispers circulate through the plaza as townsfolk express their concerns over what these developments might mean for their own community. Despite these worries, life continues in San Miguel, marked by routine and resilience. Families gather for meals on sun-soaked porches while children play tag in the streets until dusk settles in. There's an unspoken belief that their tranquil way of life will remain untouched by the chaos that seems distant, a comforting illusion that many cling to amid mounting tension. Yet change is on the horizon, an ominous shadow threatening to disrupt this sanctuary they have cultivated so lovingly over generations. As Sophia plays with Max near the edge of town one sunny afternoon, little do they know that lurking beyond the hills are those who would bring turmoil into their lives. The Cartel, a name often feared but rarely faced, cast its dark influence across regions like storm clouds rolling over clear skies. The moment feels deceptively ordinary. Children laughing as they run through fields while parents tend to gardens or sip coffee on porches overlooking sunlit streets. But beneath this veneer lies an undercurrent of anxiety, the kind that makes hearts race when night falls early or when unfamiliar sounds echo through empty streets. In this peaceful town filled with hopes and dreams intertwined like threads in a tapestry lies an unsuspecting girl and her brave dog. Little do they realize that their lives are soon to be forever altered by forces beyond their comprehension, forces that challenge everything they hold dear about safety and community. As we delve deeper into their story, we will witness how innocence confronts danger head-on, how love can ignite courage in even the most unexpected circumstances, how bonds are tested by violence yet emerge stronger through adversity. For now, however, let us simply breathe in the essence of San Miguel, the beauty of its people, the warmth of its sun, and prepare ourselves for what lies ahead as shadows begin to creep closer to this tranquil haven. Sofia is a bright light in the heart of San Miguel, a spirited little girl with an infectious smile that can brighten even the cloudiest of days. At just 8 years old, she embodies the joy and curiosity of childhood, exploring the world around her with wide-eyed wonder. Her laughter rings through the streets as she bounds from one adventure to another, always accompanied by her beloved dog, Max. Their bond is a testament to the power of friendship, one that transcends words and speaks to the depths of loyalty and love. With tousled brown hair that dances in the wind and cheeks always slightly flushed from running outside, Sofia is a picture of innocence. She possesses an adventurous spirit that draws her toward nature, where she often spends hours playing among flower-filled meadows or climbing trees that seem to touch the sky. Whether it's collecting colorful stones or chasing butterflies, each day is a new opportunity for discovery, and every moment spent outdoors fuels her imagination. Max, her faithful companion, is never far behind. With his sleek dark coat and alert posture, he serves not only as Sofia's pet, but also as her guardian. While Max's past as a retired war dog lends him an air of dignity and strength, it's his gentle nature around Sofia that truly defines their relationship. He has an uncanny ability to sense her emotions. When she giggles with delight or pouts in frustration, Max mirrors her feelings with his own expressive eyes. They share secrets only they understand, a language built on barks and giggles, tail wags, and playful nudges. Their afternoons are filled with adventures that are both grand and simple. On sunny days, you might find them racing through fields blanketed in wildflowers, Sofia's laughter trailing behind her like music as Max bounds beside her, his tongue lolling out in sheer joy. Or they could be found perched atop a grassy hill, pretending they're explorers on an uncharted island, using sticks as swords against imaginary pirates. In these moments, nothing else exists but their world, one filled with laughter and the thrill of endless possibilities. Sofia's imagination knows no bounds. She sees stories everywhere she looks. A fallen branch becomes a pirate ship sailing across stormy seas, while shadows cast by trees turn into castles inhabited by brave knights. Each day brings its own adventure as she spins tales of heroism and magic that draw Max into her whimsical narratives. He listens intently, tilting his head as if he understands every word. Yet amidst this vibrant childhood lies a profound bond that emerges from mutual respect and unwavering trust. Sofia knows that Max is more than just a dog. He is her protector, a silent sentinel who stands watch over her even during their most carefree moments. In return for his loyalty and bravery, Sofia showers him with affection, treats made from leftover lunch scraps, gentle pats on his head after long play sessions, and whispered secrets shared under starlit skies. In San Miguel's close-knit community, Sofia is known by everyone. Her cheerful demeanor makes it impossible not to smile when she passes by. Neighbors greet her warmly as she walks hand in paw with Max through the plaza, exchanging kind words about how fast she's growing or how much Max has flourished since joining their family. There's a familiarity in their interactions, a sense of belonging that grounds Sofia in a world filled with love and support. However, beneath the surface of this idyllic childhood lies an undercurrent of vulnerability that Sofia remains blissfully unaware of for now. She perceives her surroundings through innocent eyes, an enchanting world where danger feels distant and life unfolds like the pages of a storybook filled with heroics and adventures. As she plays under the sun-drenched sky, there's no inkling that shadows are gathering beyond the hills surrounding San Miguel. The joyful sounds of children playing mask any whispers of uncertainty or fear about the outside world creeping closer each day, an awareness she will have to face sooner than anyone can imagine. For now, though, Sophia revels in the simplicity of childhood, a time reserved for laughter, dreams woven into reality through imagination, and the unwavering companionship of Max by her side. Together, they navigate their small corner of the world with hearts full of hope and spirits unbroken by anything beyond their control. As we delve deeper into their lives over the coming moments, we will witness how this profound connection shapes their journey through trials unforeseen, a bond tested yet unyielding amid chaos. But for today, let us simply cherish the innocence embodied by Sophia, the girl who sees magic everywhere, and remember how vital love can be when faced with life's unpredictable turns. Max is not just any ordinary dog. He is a retired war dog with a storied past that speaks to his incredible training and unwavering loyalty. His journey began years ago, far from the serene streets of San Miguel, in training facilities where canines are transformed into elite protectors of their human counterparts. Born into a world of discipline and duty, Max was bred for strength, intelligence, and resilience. He came from a long line of working dogs, specifically selected for their keen instincts and ability to follow commands under pressure. As a young pup, Max underwent rigorous training that tested not only his physical capabilities, but also his mental fortitude. He learned to navigate challenging obstacle courses, develop sharp senses for detecting threats, and respond to commands with precision. These skills were honed through countless hours of training exercises designed to prepare him for the unpredictable nature of military operations. Max quickly distinguished himself among his peers, consistently demonstrating an aptitude for tasks that required both bravery and intelligence. During his service, Max was deployed on various missions where he worked alongside soldiers in high-stress environments. He participated in reconnaissance operations, sniffing out hidden explosives and tracking down suspects with remarkable accuracy. His ability to remain calm in chaotic situations made him an invaluable asset to the teams he served with. The bond formed between Max and the soldiers was profound. They relied on each other for safety and support in the face of danger, developing a connection that transcended words. Despite the intensity of his work, there was an undeniable gentleness within Max. He had a unique talent for sensing emotions, whether it was a soldier's anxiety before a mission or the joy of returning home after a job well done. His presence provided comfort during moments of uncertainty. He became a source of strength for those around him, embodying both courage on the battlefield and compassion off it. After several years of dedicated service, Max found himself at a crossroads when he was honorably discharged from the military due to age and wear. While he had completed his duties with distinction, the transition into civilian life meant leaving behind the adrenaline-fueled missions that had defined much of his existence. As much as he had thrived in that environment, it was time for him to embrace a different role, one that would allow him to find peace while continuing to protect those he loved. That's when Sophia's family entered the picture. They welcomed Max into their home with open arms, recognizing not just his impressive background, but also the potential for him to be a loving companion. It didn't take long for Max to adapt to this new lifestyle filled with warmth and affection. However, remnants of his past remained deeply ingrained within him. His instincts as a protector were still sharp. His ears perked up at unfamiliar sounds, and his body tensed at any hint of danger. Sophia quickly became the center of Max's world. He instinctively understood that she was special, that his role as her protector extended beyond mere companionship. Their connection blossomed as they shared their lives together. Each day brought new opportunities for Max to display his nurturing side while still maintaining those protective instincts honed through years of service. At home in San Miguel, Max shifted from soldier to guardian without missing a beat. During playtime in the fields or quiet moments on the porch, he remained vigilant, always aware of his surroundings while simultaneously allowing himself to enjoy the simple pleasures of life with Sophia. Whether it was chasing after balls or lying by her side while she read her favorite stories aloud, every moment solidified their bond further. Despite having left behind the chaos of warfare, those experiences shaped who Max was, a loyal companion with an innate ability to sense danger even when it lurked beneath the surface. The scars of battle were not visible on his body, but were etched into his instincts. They whispered reminders that vigilance must always be maintained. As we delve deeper into this story filled with unforeseen challenges, it is essential to remember who Max truly is. A retired war dog whose past has prepared him uniquely for what lies ahead. His loyalty will be tested against formidable foes, but it is precisely this blend of love and instinct that creates a powerful force capable of confronting danger head-on. In the peaceful town of San Miguel, Sophia may view her dog as simply her best friend. However, unbeknownst to them, both lies an impending storm that will challenge everything they hold dear. Their bond will be put to the ultimate test when shadows begin encroaching upon their idyllic existence. But with every turn ahead comes a chance for heroism, and together they will face whatever darkness threatens their world. The tranquility of San Miguel was shattered one fateful afternoon when the cartel made its presence known in a way that left an indelible mark on the town. Until that moment, the residents had lived their lives in relative peace, shielded by the illusion that the chaos of the outside world could not touch their close-knit community. But the arrival of the cartel was sudden and violent, a brutal reminder that danger could strike anywhere, even in their idyllic haven. It began with an ominous hum in the air. Rumors whispered from neighbor to neighbor about strange vehicles spotted at the outskirts of town. Black SUVs, tinted windows glinting in the sun, prowled through the streets, casting shadows that loomed larger than life. The unsettling sight sent shivers down spines. Residents exchanged worried glances as they sensed something sinister brewing. Grocery shopping became fraught with tension, and laughter faded into hushed conversations filled with uncertainty. As dusk descended, the atmosphere grew thick with apprehension. The sun dipped below the horizon, and darkness enveloped San Miguel like a suffocating blanket. Then came the sound. A series of deafening gunshots erupted, echoing through the once peaceful streets like thunderclaps signaling an impending storm. Fear rippled through the town as people rushed to their homes, hearts pounding in their chests. Mothers clutched their children tight, fathers stepped protectively in front of their families, and Max, ever vigilant, sensed the shift in energy. The cartel made their entrance with ruthless precision. They were merciless, men clad in dark clothing with menacing expressions etched across their faces. Each one radiated an aura of power and intimidation. They moved as a unit, expertly trained and unyielding. Their presence was not merely an invasion, but a declaration of dominance over a community they intended to control. They shouted orders that reverberated through the night air, while brandishing weapons as if they were extensions of their own limbs. With each shout came an unmistakable command. The townspeople were to comply or face dire consequences. The cartel's message was clear. Resistance would lead to violence, and fear would reign supreme. They were there to establish territory, to send a chilling reminder that they were not to be trifled with. Businesses shuttered their doors as panic spread. Shopkeepers locked up and hurried home to protect their families for whatever storm was brewing beyond. Max could feel the tension building around him. Every instinct within him screamed for vigilance. While Sophia remained blissfully unaware of the true extent of danger lurking outside her window, Max's protective instincts kicked into overdrive. He stood alert at her side, ears perked up and eyes scanning every shadow cast by flickering streetlights. His training had prepared him for threats far beyond what any ordinary dog might encounter, but nothing could prepare him for this level of brutality. As chaos unfolded on the streets, violence erupted like wildfire. Shouts turned to screams. Gunfire filled the air with a terrifying rhythm that echoed through alleys and bounced off walls. Cars sped away from the chaos, tires screeching against asphalt as terrified residents fled from the scene. In contrast, those who lived on the outskirts found themselves trapped in a nightmare they had long feared would come to pass. The cartel instilled fear with every heartbeat. They reveled in it. They taunted anyone who dared stand in their way, while forcing others into submission through sheer intimidation tactics. Their ruthlessness knew no bounds. They took what they wanted without remorse or hesitation. Drugs flowed freely through their hands like water, while innocent lives hung precariously in the balance. Sophia sat quietly inside her home, unaware of how drastically her life would change within moments. She heard muffled sounds outside, the distant echoes of commotion, but was reassured by her parents' presence nearby. To her young mind, this seemed like another adventure. She couldn't fathom that danger lurked just beyond her doorsteps. Max, however, remained acutely aware of everything happening around them. The urgency in his demeanor heightened as he paced back and forth near Sophia's side. As darkness deepened around San Miguel and panic spread like wildfire through its streets, residents huddled together in fear. Uncertainty gripping every heart as they realized this wasn't just a passing storm, but rather an impending deluge threatening everything they held dear. The cartel's arrival marked a turning point for San Miguel, a moment that would forever alter its peaceful existence and challenge everything Sophia and Max had come to know about safety and security. As shadows grew longer under flickering streetlights, glowing dimly against encroaching darkness, it became painfully clear. Innocence was about to confront brutality head-on, a test unlike any they'd ever faced before. In these critical moments where fear threatened to engulf them all lies an unshakable bond between a girl and her dog, a connection forged through love, yet now readying itself against trials unforeseen. As we delve deeper into this harrowing tale filled with uncertainty ahead, we will witness how courage can manifest when faced with adversity, and how bravery may rise from unexpected places amid chaos and despair. The chaos enveloping San Miguel had escalated to a fever pitch, an oppressive weight thickening the air as the cartel tightened its grip on the town. While many residents huddled in fear inside their homes, Sophia remained blissfully unaware of the dangers lurking just beyond her door. She was in her backyard, happily playing with Max, her loyal companion, unaware that the very same shadows that threatened her community were now closing in on her. The sun hung low in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the garden where Sophia often played. Flowers swayed gently in the breeze, their vibrant colors contrasting sharply with the darkening reality outside their walls. Sophia giggled as she tossed a ball across the yard, Max bounding after it with a grace that belied his size. In this moment, life was perfect, filled with laughter and innocence. But then came a noise that pierced through the serenity, a distant rumble of engines revving and tires screeching on pavement. The sound grew louder, drowning out Sophia's giggles and sending a shiver down Max's spine. He stopped mid-chase and turned toward the back fence, muscles tensing as he sensed something amiss. The primal instincts ingrained in him from years of service surged to the forefront. He sensed danger approaching. Sophia paused, glancing at Max as he stood alert, his ears perked up and body coiled like a spring. "What is it, boy?" she asked, confusion etched on her young face. But before she could receive an answer, the ground trembled beneath them as dark SUVs pulled up just outside the property line. The vehicles rolled to a stop like ominous harbingers of doom. Doors swung open with unnerving precision, figures clad in dark clothing stepping out with an aura of menace that sent chills racing down Sophia's spine. Their faces were obscured by masks, eyes glinting with malice as they surveyed their surroundings like predators sizing up unsuspecting prey. Max growled low in his throat, a primal warning that reverberated through the air. He instinctively positioned himself between Sophia and the newcomers, every muscle taut and ready for action. The little girl's heart raced as she watched Max transform from her playful companion into a fierce protector, his body language radiating strength and readiness. "Stay close to me, Max," she whispered nervously, her innocence clashing with the encroaching threat. The cartel members took notice of Max's defensive stance. Their eyes flickered with amusement and disdain. They approached the fence slowly, deliberately, each step echoing ominously against the backdrop of tension that hung heavily in the air. The leader of the group stepped forward first, a tall figure adorned with tattoos that snaked down his arms like dark vines, his demeanor exuding confidence mixed with cruelty. Well, he drawled mockingly, eyeing Sophia with a predatory gaze that made her skin crawl. What do we have here? A little girl playing in her garden? Sophia's heart raced as she pressed against Max's side, feeling both comforted and terrified by his presence. She could sense that something was very wrong. This was no ordinary encounter. She wished she could retreat into the safety of her home, but felt rooted to the spot by fear. Look at this dog, another cartel member sneered, pointing at Max, as if he were merely an object to be ridiculed rather than a loyal guardian. Doesn't know what's coming. Max growled again, louder this time, a warning shot fired from deep within him as he stared down the intruders. His instincts screamed that these men posed real danger to Sophia. They were not here for idle conversation or friendly banter. The leader stepped closer to the fence, eyes narrowing as he locked onto Sophia's terrified gaze. "We're just here for some fun," he said casually, as if discussing plans for a picnic rather than threatening a child's safety. "Why don't you come over here? We'll show you a good time." Sophia shook her head vehemently, clutching onto Max tightly while instinctively retreating further behind him. "No," she cried out defiantly despite her fear, determination surging within her even at such a young age. In response, one of the cartel members took a step forward, his intentions darkly clear as he reached for the fence gate. But before he could lay hands on it, Max exploded into action like a coiled spring released from captivity. With a ferocious bark that echoed like thunder across the yard, Max lunged forward toward the intruders, every ounce of his training and instinct manifesting into raw power. He was no longer just a retired war dog. He was a sentinel prepared to defend what mattered most. The cartel members were momentarily taken aback by Max's sudden ferocity, surprised by how quickly their amusement shifted to realization that they had underestimated this canine guardian standing resolutely between them and Sophia. As tension crackled through the air like electricity ready to ignite into chaos, it became painfully clear. This attack wasn't just an assault on innocence, but rather an all-out confrontation driven by malice and darkness threatening to consume everything in its path. In those fleeting moments filled with urgency and fear lay a pivotal clash between innocence embodied by Sophia and loyalty forged through years of training embodied by Max. A battle against evil poised to unfold amid uncertainty lurking around every corner. Max's instincts kicked in with a ferocity that was both immediate and instinctual. In the presence of danger, the years of training he had undergone as a war dog surged to the forefront of his mind. The sights, sounds, and scents around him sharpened into clarity. Every nerve in his body was attuned to the threat approaching Sophia. His heart raced with purpose as he positioned himself firmly between her and the menacing figures of the cartel. As the lead cartel member took another step forward, Max growled low and deep, a sound that reverberated through the air like a warning bell. It was a growl born from the depths of his training, echoing the countless hours spent learning to assess threats and respond with unwavering loyalty. He had been conditioned to protect those who could not protect themselves, and now that instinct was in full force. Max's body language shifted dramatically. His posture became aggressive yet controlled, muscles taut and ready for action. He stood tall, every inch of him radiating strength as he fixed his gaze on the intruders. The air crackled with tension as he prepared to confront the attackers, every ounce of his being focused on safeguarding Sophia from harm. This was not just a pet's instinct. It was the embodiment of a soldier's resolve fueled by love and duty. The cartel members exchanged glances, their bravado faltering momentarily as they registered the fierce determination emanating from Max. They had expected an easy target, an innocent girl playing in her backyard, but instead stood before a formidable guardian whose loyalty was unshakable. Max's growl intensified, rumbling like distant thunder, daring them to take another step closer. Sophia, sensing Max's protective nature enveloping her like a warm shield, felt both fear and courage swell within her. She placed a small hand on Max's back, grounding herself in his presence. "Stay strong, Max," she whispered, her voice shaky but resolute. She believed in him deeply. She had always felt safe with him by her side. In this moment of crisis, their bond became palpable, a silent conversation filled with trust and understanding. With each passing second, as the cartel members assessed their options, Max remained unwavering. Years spent in rigorous training had instilled within him not only physical skills, but also an acute awareness of human emotions. He could sense Sophia's fear and uncertainty. It fueled his desire to protect her even more fiercely. He remembered countless drills where he had been taught to read body language, to anticipate movements before they happened, and now all that preparation coalesced into one singular focus: defend Sophia at all costs. When one cartel member finally decided to take action, advancing menacingly with a sneer, Max sprang into motion without hesitation. He lunged forward with breathtaking speed and power, barking loudly as he closed the distance between them. The sheer force of his presence sent shockwaves through the air. There was no doubt that he would defend what was rightfully his, the safety of Sophia. As Max collided with the intruder, jaws snapping inches from their target, chaos erupted around them. The cartel member stumbled back, surprise etched across his face as he realized just how fierce this retired war dog truly was. Max's training kicked in seamlessly. He used his agility to dart around the attacker, while keeping Sophia safely behind him. The other cartel members reacted quickly, some drawing weapons while others moved to flank Max, but none could predict his next move. With every ounce of strength honed through years of service, Max charged again at the nearest figure, a testament to his unyielding desire to protect Sophia against overwhelming odds. In this fray between innocence and malevolence, Max became not only a protector, but a symbol of resistance against tyranny. His actions were fueled by an instinctive drive that transcended words. He embodied love for his girl and an unwavering commitment to ensure her safety above all else. Amidst the chaos unfolding in their backyard, a scene filled with shouts and confusion, Sophia watched in awe as Max fought valiantly against those who sought to harm her. It was a dance of bravery unfolding before her young eyes. She could see that this was not just a simple pet defending its owner, but rather an extraordinary act born from years of training woven seamlessly with unconditional love. As one cartel member attempted to regain control over the situation by lunging toward Max again, he found himself thwarted by the dog's unwavering tenacity. A combination of skillful maneuvers learned through combat training blended perfectly with instinctual reactions born out of devotion. "Get away from her!" Sophia screamed defiantly as she watched her protector face down those who threatened her world, a surge of courage filling her tiny frame despite overwhelming fear. With every bark from Max resonating through the air came an unspoken promise. He would never let anything happen to her. In that charged moment, the clash between darkness intent on inflicting harm and light fueled by love promising protection. The stakes rose higher than ever before. Both Max and Sophia stood resolute against looming threats. Together they faced adversity head-on amidst uncertainty surrounding them. A testament to loyalty that knows no bounds when it comes time for heroes to rise against evil manifesting at their doorstep. The tension in the air thickened as Max faced off against the cartel members, a formidable wall of fur and muscle driving between them and Sophia. The sounds of chaos echoed around the yard. Shouts, curses, and the unmistakable clatter of weapons being drawn. But amid this storm of violence, one thing remained clear. Max would not back down. As the first cartel member lunged forward, A glint of metal catching the fading light of dusk, Max sprang into action with explosive speed. He dodged to the side, narrowly avoiding a strike aimed at him while unleashing a thunderous bark that rattled the very air around them. With every ounce of his training coming to life, he closed in on the intruder, teeth bared and eyes fierce. The cartel member stumbled backward, clearly taken aback by the ferocity of Max's charge. He had expected an easy target, a playful dog to intimidate, but instead found himself facing a warrior determined to protect its territory. Max seized this opportunity, darting in low and biting down on the man's pant leg with an iron grip, dragging him off balance. The commotion drew the attention of other cartel members. Realizing their companion was struggling against this unexpected foe, they moved to intervene. One man raised his firearm, pointing it menacingly at Max with intent to scare him off. But that only fueled Max's resolve. He growled low and deep, unwavering in his stance between Sophia and her would-be attackers. "Shoot the dog," one of them yelled, panic creeping into his voice as he tried to regain control over the situation. But Max wasn't just any dog. He was trained for combat situations far more intense than this, ready to defend with every fiber of his being. The cartel member hesitated for just a moment, enough time for Max to make his move. With a sudden burst of energy, he released his grip on the first attacker and lunged toward the man, threatening him with a gun. The sheer force of his leap caught everyone off guard. It was a testament to both his strength and agility. He collided with the man's leg, knocking him off balance and causing him to stumble backward. In that instant of vulnerability, Max seized the opportunity to strike again. He darted forward with incredible speed and precision, launching himself toward another cartel member who had moved in closer to help his fallen comrade. The element of surprise was on Max's side. He swiftly maneuvered around obstacles in the garden, using every angle to his advantage. Sophia watched in awe as her protector executed a series of calculated moves, each one reflecting years of rigorous training and instinctual prowess. She felt grounded by his presence, but also terrified for him. She had never seen this side of her loyal friend before. "You can do it, Max," she shouted fiercely, her small voice ringing with hope amid the chaos. With each confrontation, it became evident that Max was outnumbered but far from outmatched. He dodged another swing from an attacker who lunged at him with apparent frustration, showcasing agility that belied his size. Instead of backing away from danger, Max surged forward again, this time targeting the nearest cartel member who had been too eager in pursuit. Max's movements were fluid and powerful. He leaped onto an overturned flower pot for higher ground, launching himself onto an unsuspecting attacker from above. The man barely had time to register what was happening before Max knocked him down in an explosion of fur and force. Chaos erupted further as shouts filled the air. The cartel members' bravado waning against this unexpected resistance put forth by a singular dog who had transformed into an embodiment of courage and defiance. The scent of fear mixed with adrenaline hung thick in the air. They realized they had underestimated their opponent drastically. But just as victory seemed within reach for Max and Sophia, one remaining cartel member took desperate measures, pulling out a weapon, pointing it squarely toward Max, as if hoping fear could outweigh skill. In that moment where time seemed suspended between breaths, taken in anticipation, lay an unnerving reality. Danger loomed dangerously close for both Sophia and her protector. Yet even amid perilous odds stacked against them stood this unwavering bond, a steadfast promise forged through loyalty that transcended mere companionship. Just as everything appeared poised for tragedy at any moment, Max felt something surge within him deeper than instinct alone. Love for Sophia, igniting fire beneath fury, directed towards those who threatened her safety. With a final roar that echoed like thunder across their once peaceful garden, Max launched himself at the last standing cartel member, the very embodiment of protection wrapped up in fur, charging headfirst in a battle against overwhelming odds stacked high against them both. The clash erupted as they collided, a whirlwind of fur and anger meeting human malice head-on. a testament not just to one dog's bravery, but also showcasing how fierce devotion can illuminate paths through darkness when faced with unimaginable challenges ahead. In that dramatic showdown filled with chaos unfolding around them arose something profound. Hope rising from despair, echoing through every bark unleashed by Max, reverberating against walls once thought impenetrable, rooted firmly within love, promising protection no matter what hardships lay ahead amidst uncertainty, closing in tightly around them all. As the chaotic confrontation unfolded in Sophia's backyard, the shockwaves reverberated throughout the small town of San Miguel. The sounds of barking and shouting pierced the evening air, drawing the attention of neighbors who had been locked inside their homes, paralyzed by fear. The sudden upheaval forced them to confront a reality they had long ignored: the presence of the cartel, an ugly truth that had now invaded their peaceful lives. The first to react was a group of elderly neighbors who had gathered for their evening chats on the porch. Their laughter faded into hushed whispers as they heard the commotion, concern replacing the warmth of camaraderie. They exchanged fearful glances, each one acutely aware that something was very wrong. One elderly woman, Dona Clara, clutched her rosary as she urged her friends to stay indoors. "We should pray for them," she whispered, her voice trembling. But not everyone could remain still. A young father named Miguel, who lived just a few doors down from Sophia's home, felt a surge of adrenaline race through him. He had watched Sophia grow up since she was a baby, and Max had always been a loyal companion by her side. As he heard the escalating chaos, Max's barks intertwined with sounds of struggle. He knew he couldn't just stand idly by. Miguel bolted out of his house and ran towards Sophia's backyard, calling out to others as he passed. "We need help. They're in trouble." His voice rang with urgency, cutting through the thick tension that had enveloped the neighborhood. One by one, neighbors began to emerge from their homes, drawn by Miguel's call to action. Each face bore expressions of fear mixed with determination. They were all aware that something precious was at stake. Families gathered their children close, while men took hesitant steps forward, ready to confront an unprecedented threat. A shared sense of unity ignited within them as they moved towards Sophia's home. As Miguel reached the gate leading into the yard, he found himself alongside two other neighbors, an older man named Carlos and a teenage boy named Javier. Together, they peered over the fence just in time to see Max lunging at one of the cartel members with fierce bravery. The sight filled them with both awe and dread. They could see that this wasn't just an ordinary dog. It was a protector willing to fight for what mattered most. "We can't just watch," Carlos exclaimed, his voice edged with urgency. "We have to back him up." His words resonated with the group. Fear transformed into resolve as they recognized this moment was about more than just Sophia and Max. It symbolized their community's strength against forces seeking to tear them apart. With newfound courage coursing through their veins, Miguel pushed open the gate and stepped onto the property. "Sophia, Max," he shouted, hoping his voice would reach them amid the chaos. His heart raced as he prepared himself for whatever lay ahead. As more neighbors joined in, some armed with makeshift weapons like garden tools or baseball bats, the atmosphere shifted dramatically from one of vulnerability to one of collective strength. They formed a line behind Miguel, standing tall against adversity, fueled by love for their community and its youngest member. The cartel members' bravado began to wane as they faced not just an indomitable dog, but also a united front of determined townspeople rallying around Sophia and Max. For every bark that echoed from Max came a cry from Miguel and his neighbors, a chorus that resonated with unwavering support, reflecting resilience in the face of fear. "Get away from her," shouted Javier as he brandished a shovel like a shield between himself and the attackers. Although frightened at what might happen next, he felt emboldened by the presence of his fellow neighbors standing shoulder to shoulder in solidarity. In that moment where violence threatened to consume them all emerged something beautiful, a tapestry woven together by threads of courage binding each neighbor toward a common goal: protecting Sophia and ensuring Max's bravery did not go unnoticed or unsupported. As tension mounted in the yard amid shouts and clashing wills, it became clear that this wasn't merely about defending one little girl. It was about reclaiming their community from shadows threatening its very existence. The residents of San Miguel refused to be cowed into submission. Instead, they chose unity over fear, a powerful declaration against those who sought to instill terror within their hearts. When Max charged at one last cartel member with ferocity unmatched, the combined efforts of those rallying behind him brought an unexpected wave crashing down upon their attackers as neighbors surged forward ready to confront darkness head-on. In this pivotal showdown between innocents threatened by evil stood not just Max, but also an entire community refusing to be silenced. A testament that even in moments when hope seems elusive can arise inspiration born from love, uniting them all against formidable odds. As chaos erupted around them, a dance between light and darkness played out beneath starlit skies. The residents began reclaiming their town from those who dared threaten it. Hope surged anew within hearts once gripped by fear. Together they would rise against adversity while protecting what truly mattered: their children, their homes, and ultimately, their lives entwined within this framework called community, a bond stronger than any force hell-bent on tearing it apart. The aftermath of the confrontation left the town of San Miguel forever changed. As the dust settled and the echoes of chaos faded, a profound silence enveloped the neighborhood. The once vibrant backyard, filled with laughter and play, now bore the marks of a fierce battle. A few scattered toys, overturned flower pots, and a lingering scent of fear mixed with adrenaline. Sophia stood in the center of it all, her heart racing and her small hands trembling. She clutched Max tightly to her side, feeling his warm presence as if it were a shield against the world. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she tried to process what had just happened. The sudden attack, the violence that erupted, and most importantly, how Max had fought fiercely to protect her. In that moment, she felt an overwhelming mix of gratitude and fear. "Max," she cried, wrapping her arms around his neck, burying her face into his fur. "You're my hero." The words spilled from her lips as she held him tightly, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat beneath her fingers. Max responded with a soft nuzzle against her cheek, sensing her distress and offering comfort in return. As neighbors began to gather around Sophia and Max, a collective sense of relief washed over them all. They had witnessed something extraordinary that day. Not only had they come together to confront danger, but also had rallied around a little girl and her brave dog who had become symbols of resilience against overwhelming odds. Miguel approached Sophia, kneeling down to meet her gaze. "You were so brave," he said softly, his voice laced with admiration. "And Max, he's incredible." Others nodded in agreement, their expressions reflecting newfound respect for the retired war dog who had risen to protect not just Sophia, but also their community. Word spread quickly throughout San Miguel about what had transpired. Families shared stories about how they had felt during the chaos, fear gripping their hearts, yet intermingled with pride as they recounted how they banded together to stand up against the cartel. The narrative shifted from one of vulnerability to one of triumph. They were not victims, but survivors who fought back side by side. In the days that followed, a palpable change swept through the town. The atmosphere was charged with determination as residents began to reclaim their safety and sense of community. Town meetings were organized where members shared their fears openly while discussing ways to prevent such threats from invading their lives again. Ideas flowed freely. Some proposed forming neighborhood watch groups, while others suggested collaborating with local authorities to ensure better protection against possible future incursions. Max became a local hero overnight, his bravery celebrated in every corner of San Miguel. Children gathered around him whenever he was spotted in town, eager to pet him or hear stories about his daring actions during the attack on Sophia. Parents praised him for being a fearless protector. He embodied everything they wanted their children to understand about loyalty and courage. Sophia's emotional journey mirrored that of her community, She oscillated between feelings of fear and pride. At times during quiet moments alone at home, flashes of the chaotic scene would invade her thoughts, the shouts, the snarls, but she quickly reminded herself of Max's bravery, standing firm beside her through it all. He had faced danger head-on with unwavering loyalty. As days turned into weeks following the attack, Sophia found solace in sharing her experiences with friends at school. She spoke candidly about how scared she had felt, but also emphasized how powerful love could be when faced with adversity, illustrating how Max was more than just a dog. He was family. The community embraced its newfound resilience. Murals honoring Max were painted on walls throughout San Miguel as symbols of strength and unity emerged across town squares, a testament to their refusal to live in fear any longer. Neighbors began looking out for each other more than ever before. Strangers became friends bonded by shared experiences woven into their collective narrative. Amidst this transformation lay a deeper understanding, a realization that safety wasn't solely reliant on external forces, but rather cultivated through community solidarity nurtured by love and unwavering support for one another. As autumn leaves began to fall gently from trees lining streets once filled with tension, they now danced lightly upon sidewalks where laughter echoed freely once more. Sophia felt a renewed sense of hope blooming within her heart, like spring flowers breaking through winter's grasp. With Max by her side as both protector and companion, together they stepped forward into brighter tomorrows filled with possibilities anew, knowing they would always face whatever came next together. In this small corner of Mexico, where fear once loomed large, now stood resilience shining brightly. A reminder that even in darkness can emerge light capable enough to guide them all forward toward healing. Their bond stronger than ever amid trials faced hand in paw. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over San Miguel, a sense of renewal filled the air. The town had faced darkness, but now it stood united, a tapestry woven together by shared experiences, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to protect one another. The scars left by the cartel's sudden intrusion would linger, but they served as reminders of how far the community had come in standing against fear and violence. In the heart of this transformation was Sophia, a little girl who had grown immensely in the aftermath of the attack. The innocence she once held began to blend with a newfound strength. She was no longer just a child playing in the garden, but a brave young girl who had faced danger head-on and emerged stronger for it. With Max at her side, she felt invincible, embodying the spirit of courage that resonated throughout San Miguel. Max, too, had become a symbol of hope, a hero in the eyes of every child and adult alike. His fierce loyalty and bravery during that harrowing moment had captured hearts and ignited a flame within the community. As families gathered in parks or shared meals on porches, stories of Max's heroism were recounted, inspiring conversations about courage and unity. He was not just a retired war dog. He had become an emblem of resilience that people looked up to. With each passing day, Sophia and Max explored their town with renewed purpose. They ventured through streets that echoed with laughter once more. Children played freely, while parents exchanged knowing glances filled with gratitude. Those who had once felt paralyzed by fear now found strength in each other. Together, they formed watch groups and organized community events aimed at fostering connections among neighbors. They filled their days with joy while ensuring that they remained vigilant against threats lurking beyond their borders. The town meetings continued long after the attack. Residents gathered regularly to discuss safety measures, share ideas for community enrichment, and celebrate their unity. They understood that true strength lay not solely in physical defenses, but rather in relationships built on trust and support. From organizing self-defense classes for women to hosting workshops on conflict resolution for children, San Miguel became a beacon of hope fueled by collective determination. As Sophia sat on a bench in the park one afternoon with Max nestled beside her, she reflected on how far they had come since that fateful day. She thought about how terrifying it had been when danger approached, but also how empowering it felt to see her neighbors rally together to protect what mattered most. "We did it, Max," she whispered softly, stroking his fur as he leaned into her touch. "We showed everyone that love is stronger than fear." Max looked up at her with intelligent eyes, filled with understanding as if he comprehended every word spoken between them. Their bond deepened further as they shared these moments together. There was an unspoken promise that whatever challenges lay ahead would be faced hand in paw. The future seemed brighter now than ever before. The shadows cast by violence were starting to fade as hope took root within San Miguel's embrace. The community recognized that while they could not erase what had happened, they could choose how they responded, by standing together against adversity and fostering an environment where love triumphed over hate. So as autumn settled into winter, the town prepared itself for new beginnings filled with promise. Neighbors exchanged smiles filled with confidence rather than uncertainty. Families grew closer as they celebrated festivals together, candles lighting up their homes, symbolizing resilience twinkling against darkened skies. In this small town, nestled among rolling hills where hearts beat as one, lay a profound truth: when love fuels determination amid fear, anything becomes possible. With Sophia and Max leading the way, they reminded everyone that even in moments when hope seems elusive, can emerge light capable enough to guide them all forward toward healing. And as dawn broke over San Miguel each day, the sun casting rays of warmth upon familiar streets, the bond between its residents shone brighter than ever before, a reminder that together they could weather any storm while embracing peace filled with compassion reflecting through every corner of their shared lives. The future awaited them all, a tapestry still being woven thread by thread, but this time woven from strength forged through unity where bonds ran deep enough to challenge even the darkest forces life may throw their way. Together they stood ready for whatever came next, fueled by love and loyalty, a promise echoing through eternity. Hope would always find its way back home.